Hi, my name is Miquel Velasco. I'm going to make a video on how to replace the clutch master cylinder on a 2003 Nissan Altima. I'm making the video because I looked online and there's no video about this. So I'm going to be working on this '03 Altima, and I'll guide you guys on how to do this. What you're going to need is some flashlights and a lot of patience. It's kind of tricky. It's going to take a while. All right, so here we go. Okay, so here it is, the '03 Maxima. All right, about a week or two ago, I replaced the slave cylinder. The clutch pedal was dropping to the floor and staying down there. That seemed to help for a little bit. A week later, here we are again. Now we're gonna go ahead and change the master cylinder. I don't know if you can see it back there. It's in way back there. Not in an easy spot to get to. I can't even get my hands in there. So what we're gonna need to do is, but before that, I mean, if you're gonna do this job, what you should check is make sure there's no leaks, because it could just be a leak. You can change a line. In this case, we're not that lucky. That's not what's going on. So we're going to go ahead and change that master cylinder. So first thing you need to do, you got to remove the wipers. So you got bolts. I already took that one off there. Then there's these plastic buttons that go along this plastic part right here. So after you take these out, you're gonna have to remove this. Also, you got to remove this bead right here, which has clips. I already disconnected it. Take a flathead screwdriver, you can go ahead and pop these out. And then when you remove this bolt right here, I mean, you got to pull on this pretty hard, or maybe take something and pry it up. But you know, it's kind of hard to get out, but it can be done. And there it is. Take that one out. Set it to the side. All right. So yeah, so just keep on taking these out. Take this beads out. The little plastic buttons that I'm talking about are here. You can look around and you'll see where they go on both sides. All right, so we've taken that plastic cover off. It has plastic pins up against the windshield, so when you take it off, you got to kind of yank it hard. It's kind of removing like a door panel to pop those out. So now we have to remove the motor for the windshield wipers. So check. All right, so here we have the motor, and it has these bolts. They are 10 millimeters. Here's a 10. I got one, two, and a third one there that I already took out. Those got to come out. Then also with the 10, you got to take this out. Basically, this whole bracket's got to come out on both sides. It's also connected here. So we got to take this out so we can gain access in there. All right, so take those out, these out, disconnect the motor, unplug it. All right. All right, here we go. So we got all the bolts loose. There were a lot of them, and a lot of hidden places. Um, the sucker did not want to come out, but we got it out now. Set it down over here. As you can see, it has a lot of different places where it was bolted down. So we got that piece of metal out. Now with that out, we can go ahead and pull the motor out for the windshield wipers. Set that out. So far we've taken out all that just to replace this. Ridiculous, I know. Engineers dropped the ball on that one. Okay, now it looks like we have another plate that needs to come out of the way. So we're gonna go ahead and locate the bolts. Looks like I already took some out. And remove these bolts and remove this plate. We need to get down there. All right. All right, so I went ahead and got all these bolts for this place. So this thing just comes out. Go ahead and set this aside. And there we are. There's the promised land right here. Still kind of tight, but at least now we can get to it. We're gonna go ahead and take this off. Make sure you get something to catch the fluid. I'm gonna release this line. Once we do that, then we're gonna go ahead and jump inside and disconnect it from the inside. It's got 2 bolts holding it up against the firewall, 10 millimeters. So there it is. So all that had to come out just so we can get our hands on this guy. All right, so let's go ahead with the next step. All right, I went ahead and loosened up, well, released the lines. As you can see, I took this one and I pinched it here so the fluid in the reservoir wouldn't drain out and spill everywhere. So I just went and pinched it out of the way. You can do that or figure something else out or whatever. And I also release this one. You're gonna need a 10 millimeter. Get that loose. So now basically it's all up to the inside. So let's go ahead and do that. Great attention to details. All right, so here we are under the pedal. So what you need to do first is, I don't know if you can see this, what I'm touching here. Okay, this has a pin right here. I already removed it. You take this pin out, and then you got that bolt and another one on the side, which are kind of slanted. They're not running evenly. So this is a 12 millimeter. You're going to need a 12 millimeter deep socket. Remove this nut and the one on the opposite side, and then take that pin off, and then go ahead and push this through. Once you do that, you can go back onto the engine side by the firewall. You can go ahead and pull this out. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, we got it. We got the bolts off and the pins off. Probably gonna need a extension with a swivel. That made it pretty easy. All right, so let's go up front and pull that out. There it is. So this is already loose. That out the way. Voila, there it is. And there is the new one.
So, what did they tell you about the job?
They told me there's a lot.
All right.
Tell me.
So now we're just going to go ahead and start putting it back together. You can see the damage was here. It was leaking from in here.
That doesn't usually happen.
So,
So
yep.
I'll be helping you to protect
There is the problem right there. All right, let's go ahead and put it back together now.
The rest of the time.
All right, so before you put it in, you want to check this out right here. All right, here's the old one. Here's the new one. Okay, as you can see, this is a little different. You can adjust these. So you want to make sure that you get the same distance for the pin. Otherwise, you know, your clutch is going to be a little different. It might sit a little high, a little low. So what you want to do is even these out, which is easy. They screw. You know, you can just bring it in to where it's matched up with this one. This is the original stock one. This is aftermarket part bought at AutoZone. It's almost identical, except this is a little different, even though this one can be adjusted too. But what I'm going to do is just match it up to that. You see, I lined them up. Everything's lined up. then I'll just make sure that these are at the same distance, and then you tighten up this bolt and then it stays there. Once you do that, then go ahead and drop it in. All right, cool. All right, we got it done. So after we installed it, connect everything, you go down to the slave cylinder, open up the bleeding valve, and you gravity bleed. You just let it drip out. You keep filling up the reservoir, filling it up until you start filling, um, until the clutch starts feeling normal. Before you check the clutch, make sure you close the bleeding valve. Then go test it. If it don't feel right, open it again. Keep filling it so you're gravity bleeding it. And you close the bleeding valve again, and then go test it. So right now, I'm comfortable with the way it is. I'm not gonna put all these things back on just yet. I sprayed degreaser on everywhere where fluid was spilled. I'm gonna pressure wash everything, get everything nice and clean and dry. I'm keeping this off for the moment, so after everything's dry and clean, I can check for leaks. So if I put everything on, I won't be able to see nothing. So we'll check for leaks while all this is off. Make sure it's 100%. Once I'm comfortable with it, I'll go ahead and put it back on. But I think we'll be okay. So that's basically it. Master cylinder for the clutch on a 2003 Nissan Altima. Good luck.